Good afternoon everyone, I'm going to report my topic about the product life cycle. What is the product life cycle? The product life cycle is a management tool that makes it possible to analyze how a product behaves from its development to its withdrawal from the market. Also, considering its launch, growth, and sales maturity. It is like product journey to refer to a more well-known example in marketing, the customer journey. The mind behind this concept is Theodor Levitt, a German economist who lived in the United States and worked in the celebrated Harvard Business School. Levitt proposed a 5-stage model that he named the product life cycle. The stages are development, introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. Before I explain each of them, it's interesting to understand why Levitt thought defining this model would be useful. During his research, he discovered something that seems obvious but hadn't been mapped until then. The characteristics of a product change a lot during its life cycle. All the strategies around it need to consider the specific issues, characteristics of each of these stages. This applies to sales and marketing but also to product development and decision-making in the management sphere. For example, when is the right moment to invest a product explodes in the market? When is the time to step on the brakes and maybe even replace an item that was very successful on another occasion? These are the questions you can answer with the product life cycle analysis. The 5 stages of the product life cycle is you can show on the diagram. Now that we know the stages, we'll see what are the characteristics of each of them and also the best practices to achieve your marketing goals. Development phase of the product life cycle. Product development is always a very sensitive stage. The project is still able to be iterated. You can have great expectations for it. But before the product starts generating revenue, you still need to improve your proposal. Carry out tests, validate the hypothesis, and make necessary changes. This stage is naturally integrated into the process to start up companies but is not restricted to them. For example, an automobile manufacturer does not launch a new car without first having a consistent project and studying its insertion and acceptance in the market. To present a real example, you might have seen the collection of leggings for dog, the Walkie Paws, brand released at the end of 2018 as you see in the picture. We can imagine that this launch was preceded by careful planning, which resulted in the shape of the pieces, the material used in the pattern selected. When a product is in development, it doesn't require sales effort but promotion should already have begun. Imagine the success potential of a marketing campaign would Walkie Paws announcing this novelty to dedicated dog lovers. It could involve fan posts on social networks, generating curiosity and encouraging engagement. There may also be press releases, billboards, or even interactive actions on the streets, among other types of marketing. The fact is the company must consider all this even during development stage. Second is introduction phase of the product life cycle. The Walkie Paws example is about the introduction. That's when the product goes through all development stages and it's considered ready to be launched in the market. Every day we are introduced by new items in this stage of the cycle. For big brands, TV is a choice of promotion. Proof, you only need to turn on the TV for a few minutes to see ads for a new flavor of soda, different motorcycle models, smartphone, and promises new and superior features, etc. It is no accident that this stage of the product life cycle is the one that demands the most marketing investment from the company. In fact, it is not uncommon to get negative financial results at the stage even if sales have already started. This is also a result of the production cost related to the production distribution. To reduce the damage, it is imperative to define the target audience and persona that represents the ideal customer profile for your products. This exercise makes it possible to optimize your marketing investments using the right platforms to convey the best message and reach the exact audience you want. A good practice is to bet on inbound marketing and by means of relevant content, ensure the user discover the company and what it offers. This strategy is also how potential consumers are persuaded to confirm sales. Number 3 is the growth phase of the product life cycle. If the product life cycle works as it should, the next step is the growth stage. The main characteristics of this stage are scalable sales and the maintenance of the amounts invested in the marketing. It is not possible to predict precisely when it happens because that depends a lot on the details on the product and the market it's in. But it is worth repeating, if you follow the plan correctly, you are likely to reach you. Next is number 4, maturity phase of the product life cycle. Maturity is the peak, the highest point of the product life cycle. It's when the product reaches its maximum potential and sales stabilize. Once the summit is reached, it is no longer possible to grow, but the company can act to avoid significant setbacks. The challenge at this stage is to maintain good results over time. There isn't a simple way to make this happen. All the famous brands that come to mind now are where they are today because they invested in this stage. For example, Coca-Cola doesn't leave the media even though it doesn't depend on the marketing. The company understands that brands are not forever, being subject to market instabilities and behavioral changes in the audience. Imagine if a competitor developed a new soft drink and people discover that flavor is essential for their weekend family launches. With no visibility, Coca-Cola would lose space in the market. And in that situation, possibly even its place as the leading brand. Next, number 5, decline phase of the product life cycle. It's interesting to even imagine that the end of Coca-Cola, a company over with 100 years of existence and so much financial success, but even Coca-Cola will end one day, maybe not the company but its main product. This might take 100 to 200 or even 1,000 years. It's impossible to predict. But every product reaches the end, concludes its life cycle. When that happens, the company must recognize the painful truths shown in its performance indicators and prepare a replacement product. If everything contributes to the idea of discontinuing the product, investing heavily in marketing to try revert the situation tends to be dangerous. I'm going to continue my report about my next topic, 5 steps in developing a pricing strategy. You can have the best product or service in the world, but if you don't have a solid and contextually based go-to-the-market GTM strategy, an execution plan, you will fail. Marketing plays the critical role in building brand awareness, lead generation, prospect and customer nurturing. Business schools and countless business books discuss the importance of the 4P's product, which is the product, place, price, and promotion, as the key components to a solid marketing approach. While all 4P's are important to a founding team's marketing strategy, the P I get asked the most about is pricing. Pick the right pricing model and you can transform your goals from concept to reality. Choose the wrong pricing strategy and you risk immediately failure. Miriam Christoph, principal at Just Jump Marketing and pricing coach Jenny Wally, recently hosted a pricing workshop for entrepreneurs. Creating the right pricing strategy can be excruciating. It is a complex endeavor that brings out insecurities in the best of us. Christoph and Wally cut through the potential rat holes of pricing discussions and recommend an easy follow 5-step process, which is the step 1, determine your business goals. How you make money determines everything about your marketing sales GTM strategy. Christoph and Wally outlined the following business goal consideration for startup founders to use determinant for the basis of pricing. Increase profitability, improve cash flow, market penetration, larger market share, increase revenue per customer, beat the competition, fill capacity, and utilize resources. New product introduction, reach a new segment, increase prospect presence, increase prospect conversation. And step 2, conduct a throughout marketing pricing analysis. While the first step in grounded in your business goals, this step ensures that your pricing strategy considers the context of the market in which your product or service will compete. Low-cost providers like Walmart often market to a broad audience, while high-cost providers like Tesla market to a specific audience. If your market and product are broader with many players who offer similar products or services, chances are you will compete on price. You will need to do everything to keep operational costs down to ensure a maximum profits margin, says Christoph. Conversely, if you have a high-value, highly differentiated product or service, your offering may be more conducive to premium pricing, which lend itself to different form of targeted marketing. With a superior product, it is important that you are able to place emphasis on the high-quality marketing and customer service, says Christoph. Step 3 is analyze your target audience. This step enables you to answer why, what, and how customers will use your product or services based on their specific and urgent needs. Be guided by the most important question: what, perceive, and reveal value does my product or services bring to the customer? What is the task they are facing? How does my product or services ease the pain associated with this task? What does my customer have to gain by using product or service? Says Christoph, your pricing model and promotional campaign must align with your customer would buy for your product. For example, if you have a best-of-breed product that uniquely fulfills a customer's urgent needs. Value-based premium pricing may be the best strategy. Creating low-cost promotions and giveaways will confuse your customers, undercut your value, and shrink your profit margin. Step 4. Profile your competitive landscape. Whether you are a low-cost provider or a differentiated vendor, the pricing model and price point of your competitors is a significant pricing strategy influencer. Christoph suggests the following approach for direct and indirect competitors. Identify at least 3 direct competitors, study the structure of their pricing. For example, do they have component pricing and allow for heavy discounts? Do they bundle with other products or solutions? Or do they employ value-based pricing where clients pay a percentage of the total perceived ROI? Consider the substitute a customer may use to solve the task or problem that your product service addresses. Find out how much these indirect competitors cost the customer, and remember, sometimes your indirect competitor is the world no. Consider of self-solutions or no resolution as well as other vendor alternatives. Step 5. Create a pricing strategy and execution plan. At this point, you have gathered enough information to formulate an action plan. Christoph identified 10 pricing strategies to consider based on your market, customer, and competitive analysis. That's all for my topic. Thank you.